This video or podcast is sponsored by Amazon Music. Thousands of podcasts and shows are made every day, from the conversations of Joe Rogan to the crimes of Morbid, and music by 50 Cent and Sabrina Carpenter. Amazon Music has the right taste in music, podcasts, and shows for you. With a growing audience of 52.5 million people using Amazon Music every day, you can help in a contributing way to benefit this new version of what was once called radio. With thousands of music and podcasts to listen to, you can listen to our podcast too, keeping things in the middle. And with you signing up, listening to one of our episodes on your app or on your computer, you can help my podcast grow to become an ever-expanding podcast group and become a new member of our listening on Amazon Music. Please use our offer down in the description below, and it would help me a lot because it would help me earn a little bit of money. Amazon Music, the site where you need to go to listen to podcasts, stories, and music that may have you bopping the whole night through. Now, let's get to the show.
Indianapolis, stand up! Ha! Go blue! Ha! Go blue! Come on! Go blue! Stand up! 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 Go blue! Come on! Coke Super Bowlers, Dome Rock and Roller, go blue! Stand up! Get your hands in the sky! O to the D-line, come on, get behind the home team! Somebody scream! Go blue! Come catch the feeling, reach for the ceiling, cause we getting that banner and we'll hang it up high. Scream for the home team, new rings and trophies. Go blue, go Coke, go blue, go Coke. You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna win it. The Super Bowl, let's go. You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna take it. Let's go. Super Bowl. You saw that comeback,
Beautiful.
you saw the drive.
I mean a beautiful night to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. What a beautiful day before I go to bed and go on to live the rest of my life as a master's student at IU in social work. Not only is we talk about this all the time, especially we're talking about this a little bit in our lectures, in our groups, about treating people equally. We're talking a lot about how not only to treat people equally regardless of diversity, of race, of not only of sex and class, but in reality, how we treat ourselves cannot be based off of our own biases. But boy, speaking of that, and I get that a lot of this to a lot of people is woke, especially to the woke term, especially given that Democrats are basically taking over these American colleges, but that's a topic for another day. But you know what? When we actually are here to help our clients, not only with their help, not only with help, not only with our support, we need to give them guidance and love. And boy, oh boy, there was no bias, regardless of what color you were, what race you are, what gender you are. It doesn't matter. The Indianapolis Colts won today 33-8 in dominating fashion. I cannot stress it enough. This was a complete and dominant performance by the Indianapolis Colts as we welcome you to the first episode of the Bleed Bloody Blue podcast, Season 3. Yeah, that's right, Season 3. We mainly cover the Colts, especially during the regular season. This spring was crazy. We had a lot going on this spring. We had a lot going on this summer, a lot good happening. But in reality, the Indianapolis Colts were not something that was on my mind until possibly around the end of June, beginning of July, after the 4th of July weekend. I thought I was going to be able to do one episode previewing this season, but I ended up not actually doing it because I needed to figure out work and figure out my life in general, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to continue doing this podcast wherever you listen to it, Spotify, YouTube, Substack as well. It will be under the name Bear-Man Journal, but we are actually going to be changing the name of Bear-Man Journal to something else in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. We cover weekly Indianapolis Colts game recaps, and not only that, but we also cover the Indianapolis Colts and thoughts on the Colts every Sunday and Tuesday. And now, since I got more of an open schedule, I'm still figuring out, like, Mondays are probably the only day where I'm actually cut from doing anything. I have two big classes going on that day, so no recordings Monday. So that's why we're recording tonight. Daniel Jones was unstoppable. People say he's the reincarnation of Peyton Manning, but Indiana Jones did such an incredible job today, not only passing the ball, but in general, scoring. He scored one touchdown today, was 22 of 29 for 272 yards. And I just got to say it, regardless of what you have to say about Daniel Jones, he's the real package. He's the real package. He is a star in the making if we can keep him healthy. And I hope this isn't just a one-game thing and then they just fall off later and go 1-15 or do something like that. But this was, to be quite honest with you, was the best win I've ever seen this Colts team have in week 1 in my entire life. I had never seen a win like this as a Colts fan in a long time. And it's so untraditional that we win in week 1 that even Ken Sterling didn't have his bells out because his winning bells that he has on his podcast. It was that big, folks. It's that big. The unfortunate part about it was that people were leaving after the game, which, again, I don't understand how you would want to leave the game. I do get traffic in Indianapolis. It's hectic. We were there for the Indy 500 and the Brickyard 400 this year. Absolute mess in some areas, especially on 465. It's always a pain in the butt, to put it lightly. It was not pretty even going there for the Indianapolis 500 this year. And I will say that both events were great, but if I was at this game, I would be on my feet celebrating, dancing around. We did a few celebrations as soon before we even got back to my mother's home. And I thought to myself, my God, this is the most incredible moment in Colts history, regardless of who you ask. We won for Jim Irsay. They honored Jim Irsay today. The Ring of Honor was a very momentous occasion. It was not only honorable, but it was special that the Colts wore their blue blazers and didn't just show up in their average tuxedos. I thought just in general, the amount of respect that Jim Irsay had on our franchise will not be replicated probably ever again. And I get the daughter and everybody's trying, but we really just do not want this to run all the way to the ground again, kind of like their dad did before he passed away. Excuse me, but it wasn't his fault. It was not his fault. And I still think that I have more sympathy for the family. I have more sympathy for him, his side now. But regardless of allegation, regardless of what happened, I'll be quite honest with you. It was in a moment. Today was just a celebration, a time to basically, for Virginia Tech, they had this back in 2007 where they honored shooting victims at their school. And I remember watching it as a little 6-year-old kid, like, wow, my goodness, they're doing a great job honoring the Virginia Tech students. And then they went out and performed a great job out there against East Carolina that day. It was also the same day App State beat Michigan. But it was a momentous deal. And I believe an honorable, and it felt heartbreaking. But at the same time, Jim's in a better place. He's in a better living situation up in heaven. I mean, regardless of his past, he is a imperfect but yet perfect person who made mistake after mistake, but who also became a true man and a true man of his word and continued every day to live his life and become the Colts owner and be the best owner he can be. He was incredible, just incredible as an owner, and the respect that these players had, like Peyton Manning speaking at the first half of that game, halftime. No one left their chairs. Everyone honored Jim Irsay, and Peyton Manning had some very great words to describe a man who not only drafted him, but the man that changed his life, and at the same time, technically fired him from the Colts back in 2012. But for him to have that much respect to players like him, I just almost lost it. I almost lost it. I was like, this is one of the greatest games we've ever played. Our offense has never played like this before. Our defense has never played like this before, and probably about 5 or 6 years since we made the AFC divisional round in 2019. After that, it just went downhill from there. But man, you don't understand. This was a perfect performance. I don't care who you ask. I don't care how many times people are going to say it online. I don't care how bad we were at points. We were not bad at all today. We just scored with literally the Dolphins only gave up one touchdown. Or we gave up only one touchdown this whole game. And in terms of team stats, we had 27 first downs compared to the Dolphins' 12. We were 7 of 15 from third down for third down efficiency. They were 5 of 10. Another thing was that we also had no punts in this game. Yes, no punts. No need to get Rigoberto Sanchez out today. It was an absolute show. Also, they allowed only one sack. We allowed one sack today. And our time of possession was 38 minutes, 43 seconds compared to the Dolphins' 21 minutes, 17 seconds. And I don't know. It was quite honestly the single greatest game. This will be a game we'll never forget. Because this isn't us. This is not us normally. This is not us occasionally. I mean, this is us occasionally, but this wasn't like us before Jim Irsay's passing. And next week we play the Broncos. But I hope this can continue. Daniel Jones looked pure. And we're playing with a chip on our shoulder. Jonathan Taylor played great today. Another guy that played great today was Tyler Warren. Unbelievable draft pick when we got him. Unbelievable player when we have him. My goodness, he's the living reincarnation of Dwight Clark. Unbelievable player. He is Dwight Clark without a young Dwight Clark, without Kent. It's amazing. It's just amazing seeing how that was today for Tyler Warren. Let me see. Tyler Warren, he had it on my notes here. Tyler Warren. Oh, crap. Tyler Warren had 76 yards for 7 receptions and averaged 10.9 yards for no touchdowns, but it didn't matter. And then Michael Pittman played a great game today. 80 yards for 6 receptions, one touchdown, and averaged yardage was 13.3. The most yardage on the whole team was because of that 20-yard run, a 20-yard run by Mo Alley Cox, where he got the ball, I think around the second quarter, caught it and ran for 20 yards for 1 reception. It was the most yardage that any wide receiver. It was the 7th most rushing or 7th most receiving yards in the Colts today. The most being Michael Pittman with 80. He had 1 great touchdown today. But I will also say our defense did such an incredible job too. Nick Cross had 1 sack today along with Kenny Moore Jr. And no interceptions for anyone except for Cameron Bynum, who had 1 interception. And then you had Ladiato Latu, who our draft pick from last season, who did superb last year, also had an interception, 1 tackle and 2 assist tackles. It was just overall, I mean, hats off to everybody on the Colts organization today. I don't even know how much I can even say it, and I know I'm kind of quiet because my family's actually going to bed here pretty soon. It's 10:08 here in the East Coast. And another thing is that if you hear anything in the background, there is some noise from Westwood 1 as I'm watching the Ravens and Bills currently. Exciting day in the NFL all the way around, but I think the Colts had the best outcome out of everybody. And I'm just saying it was a marvelous performance. I really don't have much else to say because it was that good. It was for Jim Irsay. It was for the entire Irsay family. It was a win that we will never forget. We finally broke the ceiling glass. 11 years without a win in the entire week 1. And I can't believe I am saying it, but as a Colts fan, this is the most joy I felt for week 1 in a long time. Since I was in elementary school back when we last went to I think it was my 6th grade year when we won our first game or won our last game back in 2013. Last week, one game of the regular season. We had Andrew Luck on that team as well. But of course, he sparked up some luck today, and I think now with him being at Stanford, I can actually rest on it and be assured that, wow, okay, Andrew Luck, he's great. He was one of the great quarterbacks we've had here. He was a gem for sure. But I can rest on him working at Stanford now. He's helping other people while also helping himself in the process. And that's something I absolutely love about him. He was like that. He was always charismatic, always did great things, and did them voluntarily. He would literally do anything voluntarily. And that's what we loved about Andrew Luck. But Daniel Jones, will he be Andrew Luck? Will he be Peyton Manning? We have a long season left to see. But I think the Colts are going to shock a lot of people after today. They could beat the Broncos at home. But if we don't, that's fine. If we do, that's fine. Because guess what? It's for Jim. This is for Jim Irsay. This whole season's for him. He expects his team to win. He expected us to win. And we brought him a Super Bowl title in 2006. But everybody knows that in this shift that a lot of things are going to be coming. There's going to be a lot of drifts, a lot of currents, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But we're all going to be coming together as Colts Nation, as bleeding bloody blue every single Sunday. And probably repping cream and crimson or boiler green and black. And don't give me the wrist face because there's no chance Purdue's coming back to beating us this year. I hope Purdue doesn't beat us this year, but anyway, Cignetti's putting off a great team right now, to a no start, but that's for another day. May start a newsletter or even a Substack site about that as well, but we'll see. There's so many places you can find college football news, but this is for Jim. This is his season. This is for the Irsay family, for them to heal, for them to grow. And I would just love to see the Indianapolis Colts try to make the playoffs this year. I didn't even have them ranked in the playoff system. But like we said, could this be a Curt Cignetti type season for the Indiana Hoosiers? Or not the Indiana Hoosiers, but for what am I talking about? Oh my goodness. Part of this is that for the Indianapolis Colts is what I'm trying to say. Could this be a could this be an NFL playoff season for the Indianapolis Colts? But we have a long time to wait and see that. But hey, this is game one. We have a lot more to go, folks, and listen to us every Sunday and Tuesday as we talk about the Indianapolis Colts on the Bleed Bloody Blue podcast. And this is not sponsored by anybody, but if we did have a sponsor, it would be the Lagodi Big L Times newsletter, where this podcast is actually going to be transitioning to here starting next week. The Bleed Bloody Blue podcast is actually a rendition of the Lagodi Times podcast network. And this podcast network is officially going to happen for those in Lagodi. Be aware, it's going to finally happen. We're coming in with a podcast series coming up very soon. And so please make sure to comment on my video if you're subscribed to the WBRA YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe it. We'll have clips for this entire podcast online as well. And we cannot wait. I just cannot wait to see where this Colts season's going to go for the rest of the year. Our final score for today's game was 33-8. We're 1-0 on the season, and next Sunday we play the Denver Broncos at 4:05 p.m. in Indianapolis, in Naptown, home of the NBA champions for 2027, Indianapolis, Indiana Pacers, and the Indianapolis Colts. Bleed bloody blue, everyone, and have a great night. I know it's late. This podcast will be posted at 11 p.m., but hey, this is a great day to be a Colts fan, and it certainly will be a good Monday to talk to your buddies around the office about how good the Colts were today. So, great job to the Colts. Round of applause to them, and I thank you for listening to this podcast. And let's bleed bloody blue. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great night.